Hi, welcome to my channel. Today's video all about becoming the boss of your reality. So you are the boss of your reality at the moment, but becoming the boss of a successful company, which is your reality. So you have your reality, I have my reality. Becoming the boss of it in such a way that you feel determined that you are able to achieve the things that you want to achieve, manifest those things that you want to manifest. Now, successful people that do really well in life, that have successful businesses, successful relationships. Let's say we'll pick out somebody, a fictional person that has a successful relationship, a successful business, everything that they want. What sort of mindset does that person have? That person has the mindset of, this is what I want. They're really clear on what it is that they want. There's nothing wishy-washy about this person. They know exactly what they want. They don't necessarily know how they're going to get there, but they know that it's possible, and they feel that, and they live with that feeling, that energy of, that's what I want. That's where I'm going. That's the path I'm taking. They don't waste time in the energy of, where is this? It hasn't shown up. I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. They don't live in that energy, probably hardly ever at all, if at all, because otherwise they wouldn't be in this position to have everything that they want. They go for what they want. They decide what they want, and then reality will open up for them. So paths will be shown to them. They won't necessarily know about manifestation, so they'll just take those paths naturally because they're in flow and they're heading towards that reality that they want to experience. They are not living in frustration, disappointment, not living in the lack and then wondering why this is not showing up. Because if you're living in the lack, then you are living in the frequency of what you don't have and you don't want. So you will keep seeing that because nothing else can happen. But if you're driving yourself forward with determination, whether you know what opportunities are going to come your way or not, they will, and you will end up living this life that you want to live. This is why I'm living the life that I'm living now, is because I've determined, I know what I want, I have real clarity on what I want, and determine that it is possible for me. If you'd go back 20 odd years and I could have looked into the future, I would have said, absolutely no way would that be possible for me. No way would I be talking on YouTube, because I hate social media. No way would I be doing that. But no way would I be writing. Would I be making money from books? No way would I have written articles. No way would I have had the confidence and I still had a bit of fear, but the ability to push myself through that to get where I want to go. No way would I have thought that that could have been me. I think I'm looking into the future of somebody else. I wouldn't believe it was me. So it's all about determination to get those things that you want. And we can all do that. We can all feel determined, get determined in that notion. This is what I want. Other people get what they want, so why wouldn't I get what I want? They get what they want because they don't dwell in the lack. So I'm going to stop dwelling in the lack, and when I notice I'm doing it, I'm going to pull myself out of it, like I am pulling up an employee and saying, look, you're not pulling your weight, you're not being productive in this company, so sort yourself out. You need to have a word with yourself. You need to get really hard with yourself, actually. That's what I had to do, and go, that is not going to serve you. Those feelings of disappointment, frustration, lack, not going to serve you. You're not going to get anywhere with those feelings. So stop bloody having them. You're in control. You are in control all of the time. And if you decide to linger in that, then you're in control of that. You've made a decision to do that. That's why you're not seeing what you want. You have to stop doing it. So here's the plan of action. You look at what you want, make a list of the things that you want in your life that aren't here yet. Make that list, look at that list and go through them one by one. And if you land on one and you just feel a pure desire for it without any worry about compromise or feeling bad that you want it or feeling frustrated, then tick it. That is one that you can just be determined about. You don't have to deal with. When you get to one where you feel resistance, you feel guilty, for example, I shouldn't really want that. Okay, that's going to get in your way. So that is a feeling that's not going to be productive. So you're going to deal with that. If you haven't already seen my video on the hard drive technique, I will link to it down below. I'm just going to tell you how to use this now for that moment. So you look at that thing that isn't productive, you imagine it. Now I've said imagine it on a hard drive, and some people couldn't get on with that. I mean, some do, loads do, but so then I gave to some people that couldn't get on with it, I said imagine it's in a glass ball, and the energy in it is the energy of the unproductive feeling that you have, assumption, belief, whatever, and you feel it. So you're holding it in your hand for about a minute or so you can really feel that unproductive energy. You know it, you really know that that's what's in there, and then you're going to drop it to the floor and stamp on it, or, as a client of mine did the other day, smash it up with a hammer in your head, obviously. So you are smashing it and you are saying, I don't want this is irrelevant. So you're sending a very clear signal to your subconscious, this is done with, this is not useful to me, and I am not going to give this any more attention. Now, you might get immediate relief and feel like it's gone in the moment, some do, or you might have to do it a bit longer. So I always suggest 2 weeks. Do it for 14 days. Once a day is fine, and something will have shifted. And then you look at that desire again, you go back to your list, look at it and go, does it feel different? Do I really now feel the power behind the desire for it, behind the want for it? And if you feel that, and you can feel that's much more dominant, that other stuff might be there slightly still, but not much, or it might have gone completely, then awesome, that item gets a tick on the list. Then, so you do that with all of those items, and maybe it's just 1 or 2 or 3 you've got on the list. Just go through them and work to that plan of action, and then think, there is no reason that I cannot have these things, because if I really thought that I couldn't have them, I wouldn't even bring them in to the equation. I wouldn't even be thinking about doing them or achieving these things, because I would just feel, no. You know that it's possible, and it's no less possible for you than anyone else, because this is your reality. So you make the decision, am I going to take charge of my reality this way, by being frustrated and disappointed and cross, and am I going to take charge of it that way and get more of that? Or am I going to go, that is not serving me? That was the question I'd ask myself all the time. Will this serve you? And it was a start question, and I think, no, it won't. And it really helped me to drop all of that stuff. I rarely live in that, I don't live in that energy. I might find that I do it for a couple of days, but I can notice it and stop, because I know it's completely unproductive, and it will leave me in a state of disappointment, and it will leave me in a state of noticing that I'm not getting what I want, and it's not going to propel you forward. It's not. You just have to get determined. I want this. I just want this. The most powerful thing for me has been to really feel it, not living in the end or any of that stuff, nothing that goes on and on and on that's going to bring in resistance. It's just that powerful feeling of momentum that you get when you just really, really want something. I would just be happy just to do that for a minute or so and really feel that want. That is actually what I really, really want. Okay, do you know what? That's enough. That's enough to shift your reality. That's enough for reality to start conspiring for you so that you end up experiencing that. Now, let's just look at detachment, because I do talk about detachment a lot. You might like affirming, and you might feel in free flow when you are affirming. That's detachment. You're not attached because you're affirming. You might not like doing anything. You might not want to go there, and you feel better just getting on with life. That's detachment. There might be other things that you do. You might love scripting and really enjoy that, or really enjoy visualization, and not feel like you're waiting for something to happen. It's the waiting is what holds us back. If we don't feel that and we're just doing these things in free flow, then they're awesome, they're amazing. That's detachment. Attachment is when you are highly frustrated or and disappointed, or you are just feeling the lack of it constantly. It's like a little splinter inside of you that says, I don't have this. It's just very, very subtle energy in a lot of cases, and that is attachment. But actually you can deal with that with the hard drive technique. Put that attachment, that splinter of attachment, into the ball or the hard drive, smash it up. It's dealing with it. Often when these things are very subtle, we have no idea that they have superpower. They really do. They have so much power because they're on autopilot and they're there all of the time. So whatever else you're doing is combated by the fact that it's just going on and on and on with no break in the system. So you need to look at that. Am I attached to it because I can constantly feel that I don't have it? It's very subtle. Or am I really feeling disappointment and frustration, irritation, other people for getting what they want? What is it that's holding me back? Because it's going to be my frequency. It's always going to be your frequency that holds you back. So what is that? Deal with each one thing at a time. So don't put a lot of things into that hard drive, because then what frequency is that? It's just a mishmash. You need to be really clear on what frequency you're destroying. So you're destroying that unproductive belief, assumption, thought, feeling. That's all you're doing, and you're sending a clear signal to your subconscious. This is done with. This is done with, over and done with. I'm moving forward from this point. You can be determined. We can all be determined. And being determined is actually something practical and nothing woo-woo, is it? for me to say to you, be determined that can be yours. That can be yours, but don't get hung up on the time. Live your life while still persisting in the idea of that thing that you want and knowing that it's possible. You don't even really have to know it's possible. Even if you've got fear and doubt, it doesn't really matter. Just tap into that feeling of determination. No, that is what I want. I want it. I've dealt with all of that surrounding stuff. That is what I want. I just really want this. And even if every so often you feel the desire for it, I mean, do you know what? I do that sometimes. If it's been a long time and something hasn't shown up, and I do think, oh, I wonder why that hasn't shown up, I will then tap into that feeling of really wanting it again. So I'm just like sending a reminder to my subconscious, look, I still want this, and I find that really makes a huge difference. And a couple of weeks later, that thing might show up. So it's just like I see it as boosting the signal. But the key is to be determined and to know you are getting what you want, really, because if you're living in a lackful energy and you're allowing yourself to do that, then you're making that choice. I know it's hard to hear sometimes, because I had to have a word with myself about that. This is your choice. You're living in that energy. You carry on doing it, but you expect different. I'm not talking about you now, I'm talking about me. And so I really had to have a harsh word with myself. And that's what you need to do if you feel that you're doing that. Have a harsh word with yourself and say, look, I'm the boss here. Why am I lingering in this energy? Because I'm just going to get this carrying on and on and on. Nothing can change unless I change. I have to change. And that change has to be a persistent change, a consistent change. So consistent, persistent, I'm not sure of the right word. They're both, I guess. You can't just do this exercise and feel good for half an hour and then go back to living in that again, because that is dominant then. And that is going to be what shows up or doesn't show up. You get stuck in this limbo land. You have to make the decision, no, I'm moving forward, I'm changing this from now. And the only way that I can do that is by being determined that I can do this, and then living my life knowing that reality is going to open up all kinds of doorways for me. Now I've got really clear on what I want, and now I don't feel bad about it. Never listen to a coach on YouTube that tells you not to affirm. Never listen to a coach that tells you to affirm. Never listen to one that tells you to script or not to script, to do or not to do, because it's got to be about you. So there are things that work for me and things that don't work for me, but that's me. So it's what feels good for you. So anytime you feel in free flow, that's good for you. When you're feeling the flow, maybe you're enjoying visuals without expectation, maybe you like scripting, you love writing things down, you love affirming, you really enjoy it. Maybe you do it robotically, maybe you do it with feeling. But either way, you're feeling in flow when you're doing it. That's good for you. That's great. That's your way. Whatever anybody else says, I would never say to somebody, don't do this, don't do that, because what do I know? How do I know what you're feeling and what works for you and doesn't work for you? I don't. I only know what works and doesn't work for me. So getting really clear on what does work for you and what feels good is also key in combination with this other stuff. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. If you don't know anything about me, I'm an author, manifestation coach and a mindset coach. My Zoom sessions are 45 minutes and I charge £95 for those. But if you are a member on my website, I do still offer hour-long sessions. They are £85 if you're a member, but then it's £10 a month to be a member. But you do still make a bit of a saving there, but you can get a slightly longer session in that case, because I know that some of you guys don't realise that that's still the case, but you can. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.